Welcome to Deck Tech. Today's deck is Story of Doom. We're recording another video because if you're seeing this, it's because there's been previous videos that our opponent just rage quits when we do so well. So I might just double up some of those videos. And so yeah, if you've seen two rage quit videos in one day, it's because I decided that those weren't full games, but it is pretty nice. Like, we did play out our deck and do our things, so I think it was still a valuable deck. Oof. So, no white mana. Starfield Mystic in hand. Two really good turn 3 plays. Not going to be baited into it. Oh, but if we draw white mana, it's not if we're going to draw white mana, because we're not going to draw white mana. When we draw white mana, it's going to be because of the blessing. I think we keep it because worst can to keep ever. Don't do this at home. This is bad. But the reason I'm doing it is because Treacherous Blessing will draw us a white mana, or it should draw us a white mana by the time we get there. And we do have lands all the way up there, so it's just we'll be tight on our white mana eventually. All right, what you got, opponent? Opponent went down to 6. Yeah. What you got? Sorry, what I was saying. They were full games previously, but I didn't like the fact that our opponent quit on us. Okay, see, not expecting it until after we do the blessing. I'm not planning on it until then. Okay, we have more cards than you. I agree. You gonna get our planes? He got our planes. Okay, we gotta go this way. Still have way too many lands. Next turn we Nightmare, not Blessing. As much as I'd like to Blessing. Because if we Blessing, we have a chance of getting Aphemia and playing a 1-mana spell. Okay. Not colors you expect to see. What kind of deck we got going on here? Today be wildcard day. Do I block with the Mystic? No, I don't. Stole our Doom Foretold. It's not very nice too. So blocking with a Mystic does mean he can't counterspell our Blessing or a Nightmare. No blocks. He could have a Quench. We don't know. Okay. Should be playing the castle, not the swamps, but whatever. Once we get to Conquer's Death, we can conquer the Bone Crusher Giant without taking 2 damage from it. So that's fine. Because this is an ETB trigger, not a spell that targets. Okay. Teamer random stuff. Questing Beast. So Elspeth Conquer's Death is going to be for the Questing Beast. Aphemia can't make a zombie. Treacherous Blessing now, because if we get a scry land or a tapped land, that's not a tapped land, that's a white land. Okay, so we can Kaya the Giant and final payment the Questing Beast. I think that's the plan. Our opponent will be down at 1, maybe 1, they'll be down to 1 mana? Okay, no manas. Okay, so all threats of our opponent removed. Check. Because we'll have 2 white, so it should be enough for everything. We will be at 9 life. I should respond to this by final paymenting, but I did not hold priority. This game does not... So, we need to make sure to hold priority a lot more often with sagas, because the game is not built around sagas very well. I would like to sack an enchantment, please. Target Questing Beast. All he's got going on is the goose, priority-wise. So let's play the castle. Do the Kaya. Kill the giant. Go to 9. Have stuff in hand. If he plays a big threat, we got an Elspeth. If he doesn't, we play Aphemia. We would like to draw more cards. We have drawn only lands. Like, we've drawn a lot of lands. Not only lands. I guess we've played 5 spells and 5 lands, so 50%. Okay, we will conquer death that. That's fine. He's swinging in for 2 with a grazer. It's pretty slick. If he had kept that land in hand from last turn, he'd actually have a real card. Ooh, Doom would be nice, but that's just not going to hit anything useful. Okay. Still sitting pretty. We got a Doom coming up soon. He's only got 2 non-token permanents, but both of them are pretty empty on the usefulness. Our opponent should be scrying, maybe. So I think we're fine playing Doom. We need to make sure we play something to sacrifice to Doom the turn after. So if we play Doom, next turn we sack Kaya, so we have to play something the turn after. Okay, so... the next turn we can Nightmare and draw cards. The reason we played Aphemia is because we would like to actually start putting pressure on our opponent, and we can do that by exiling Elspeth's Nightmare and Treacherous Blessing and stuff like that. Next turn on Conqueror's Death we get back a Mystic. We have 2 other enchantments to exile with Aphemia. To bottom, that's what we like to see. That means he did not find any answers. I'd still like him to not find answers. Okay, Grazer was a successful blocker on Aphemia and on the zombies, so I would have sacked a Goose. Goose. Nice thing about that Elspeth, look at that. It comes in with 2 counters, basically. We can do this, and draw a card. So this is fine. We're just losing only 1 life to do this. Now, if our opponent has no lands in hand, we're probably going to sack the Nightmare to the Doom. If our opponent does have lands in hand, cards in hand, we might just leave that and get rid of the Timurite Calls the Dead, since we'll have 2 options for our Doom Foretold. One thing about this deck is you do have to plan for the Dooms and how you're going to, what you're going to sack to them and how that's going to play out. Okay, we have a successful blocker for Questing Beast. What other big threats are we expecting from teamer creatures? I mean, this teamer value is what I'm going to call it right now. Up. Woo! I was just clicking on the board. Didn't necessarily want to exile that one, but that's okay. Okay. No successful blockers there. We are low on the life total. I should have drawn a card. We're taking 1 more damage because I didn't draw a card on time. He can play his own Doom Foretold now. He doesn't have mana for it. Okay. Is it worth 2 life to draw a card at this point? Probably not, because if he bounces the Aphemia again, we die. So we can't afford to take any life. Do we make a zombie, or do we see his hand? He has no hand, so this is the one to sacrifice. Doot, 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 doot. Or shall I say, into the unknown? Don't mind me, that's just been stuck in my head. So, play everything out. Did not have enough white mana to make a human. Nom nom food. If you guys have ever played Gauntlet, the original arcade game, that's a fun one. Red Warrior needs food badly. That's what I'm thinking of right now when this guy's playing this food. Because he does indeed need food badly. So we're probably not going to draw a card. Nope, we're drawing a card. I gotta draw before you scry, dude. Oh, we're both just doing this for the funsies of it, because we both know he's deadsies. Okay. Game 2. Valuable creatures. Agonizing Remorse is good against valuable creatures. 3/1 flyers. I don't know if we have Kaya's Wrath, or Oath of Kaya is the way we deal with that. Oath of Kaya deals with the giant as well, so that is a good one to keep. Life gain from the Archon, probably going to be a good idea. Are we going to Wrath the board? Probably, so maybe one more Shatter the Sky. What is bad for us? So Nightmare does get rid of some derpy things, but doesn't necessarily, like, he didn't have much to hand hate out of. So I don't know if we run the Nightmares. All it's doing is taking out some of his mana dorks and stuff, but on him on the play, a 3 mana remove a mana dork is not going to do us any good. The brought backs are pretty good if we have to do unfavorable trades and have mana open. Also to get back, say, an Elspeth Conquers Death, but that's about all it's good for. Let's see. He could be stomping some of our early creatures, but our early creatures we're not going to have brought back mana. So I don't know if brought back is going to be good enough. Although it could get back an Archon at key moments. We'll put it back in for a second just see what else we got. Remorse is yes. Get rid of a Questing Beast even on time. If he goes turn 1 Goose, turn 2 us, turn 2... Yeah, we can get a Remorse before a Questing Beast. Can't do it before a Giant. Timor's just blockers. Not very good blockers, but blockers. Yeah, so it's just the brought-backs. Okay. There's a good point that if you have any different suggestions on the sideboard, go ahead, post some comments about that, and we'll be happy to discuss what would maybe other cards that we could put in our sideboard versus this kind of deck, or that you think we should be seeing or running. Opponent likely to go first. Ramp, ramp, play something nasty, and continue on with his game. It's almost a Teamer Adventures deck, except for not really. Removal and a blocker, but no earlier interaction and no scries. I think it's still acceptable. We could have worse, because we really do have all our colors, which is really good. Ooh, scry. I like scry. No lands. Thank you. Scry lands are super powerful and underrated, FYI. Alright. Playing nice and slow here. Whatever you got, we'll try to remove. And go from there. So Doom we can't really play out until we have other things to sacrifice to ourselves. Otherwise it's just a weird removal spell. So Timurit Calls the Dead is the first play. So we're going to call this Teamer Value, I think. Shock that in. What does he need the manas for? Goose. Do we Kaya the Goose? What could he cast for 6 mana that we don't want to see? We don't Kaya the Goose. Because if anything, we're just going to Shatter the Sky next turn if he does something big next. Like, I don't think killing the Goose is going to prevent whatever's coming next turn. I think whatever's coming next turn is 4 or 5 mana. And he would have that anyway. But I could be mistaken. He plays a 6 mana spell and we regret it. Nope, so far not. Okay, I think that's just a Kaya. Just plan out our threats accordingly. So the only time it matters what enchantment we exile is when we bring in our sideboard of the Archon that actually brings back enchantments from the graveyard. But otherwise it's just whether or not we're exiling an enchantment or a creature to the Cost of the Dead. He's got a good mana base going on. He's also got pretty land. Pretty artwork. Okay. Are we doing the same thing, or are we conquering death? So it's Shatter Sky or death. Shatter gives him a card. It's going to be probably Shatter, and then he plays Uro. He won't have enough for Uro. Let's just clear out some geese. Mainly because we also have another Shatter, and because Elspeth is premium removal for when Uro comes back, which is in the near future. Okay. Opponent not doing things. Means we probably play a Doom Foretold just to get it out of our hand and make him discard things. If he flashes in a Brazen Borrower, then he'll probably have to bounce the Doom Foretold. What you got, sir? Doom Foretold also means that if he flashes in the Borrower... Okay. Flame Sweet's actually pretty good against our zombies. That's not a bad call. There's the Borrower. Probably still just playing the Doom Foretold again, unless he does Uro, in which case we Elspeth Conquers Death. Just kind of matching our removal with his threats. So we know Elspeth specifically deals with Uro. Like, it exiles it, it's a 3 or greater. Like, this is the Uro killer. Now he's got 3 mana, open up this red and green. He has no blue, so we're pretty safe casting Elspeth. And we're not likely to cast anything else. What you got? You got eating of food available. Okay. So all he's got is Brazen Borrower, which Oath of Kaya lines up really well with, or Doom Foretold. Okay, and then what do we bring back when Elspeth resolves the rest of the way? Aphemia if we had her, but we don't, so it's just Mystic is our only creature. But we know, as we know from previous games, Mystic will come back as a 4-power creature. 1 extra counter from the Conqueror's Death, and then 1 count from Conqueror's Death sacrificing itself. So it's actually pretty slick. Pretty slick trick. Alright, so at this point, give an idea of what else do you like to hear about when we're playing? What questions have come up as we've played? Go ahead and make a comment about that, and I'll be sure to answer it for you. So, do we Doom Foretold? Probably just to draw cards. Leaving up mana for final payment. Yep. This way, if he flashes in the Borrower, he actually has to sacrifice it. Okay. Okay, so he's not going to discard a card. We're going to draw a card. Doom Foretold. Maybe it wasn't something I should have cycled like this, but I was feeling like we needed to progress the game, not let it draw on too long. Okay, 2 bottom. That's fine. Yeah. Question is, do we just kill that? Or do we take the damage? I think we just take the damage. I don't think I'm worried about that. See if he plays anything else. No, we need to kill it. Probably shouldn't have sacrificed an enchantment to do this, but we could have just taken 5 damage to kill it. Because we're not going to shatter the sky with Elspeth Conquers Death going on. +1 counter. Play a Mystic Temple and draw a card. Still taking 3 damage to draw a card, but that's okay. What are we looking for? Not land. Ooh, castles are nice, but no. I think we take the castles out. I mentioned that in the previous video, and I haven't done that yet. So I don't know why I took the damage now when I could have waited till his turn. Okay, so he needs some sort of board wipe. Treacherous Blessing for 1 mana is Ancestral Recall, or Ancestral Vision, I mean, which, if you didn't know, is a really old, powerful card that they don't do anymore. 1 mana, draw 3 cards, pretty good in Magic. Downside of losing life is pretty okay with us. Okay, Sarkhan, what do we do about Sarkhan? Kill Sarkhan with Kaya. Kill the giant with Kaya? Let's find out. Remorse doesn't do anything right now. Kaya kills something. Can swing in the 2/2/2s at Sarkhan and the 4/4 at him. We might lose a... We'll lose a 2/2 to his Dragon? Sure, that's fine with me. So this kills Sarkhan. He has no mana to do anything, so if he kills our big guy, or that resolve all. That's just 1 dragon damage, so that's okay. Remember, all these War of the Spark Planeswalkers have secondary text you have to pay attention to. That's good. Aphemia for 1, yes please. Oh, we should have played Timurit Calls the Dead beforehand, because as you can see, now we had to pay 1 more mana for this, but that's okay. Okay, so this is the guy that removes creatures. So we'll get rid of the Mystic. Can Remorse, but that does nothing other than exiling from his graveyard, which he has nothing in his graveyard. This does enchantments, and we don't need Kaya. Zombie! That's actually the song that should be stuck in my head right now. Okay, we'll trade a zombie for Robber of the Rich. What are you going to get off our top deck, though? That's the problem. Hey, look, he can Remorse our Remorse. He's going to Remorse our Shatter, of course. Does not blocking present lethal. He's forced to block this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's not forced to block this, but... Okay, Remorse gets rid of the Shatter, I guess. He just doesn't want us remorsing him later in life. Or he just wants to see us play our own Shatter. That's fair. This one gets rid of creatures. We'll get rid of creature. Zombie army. We'll probably play the Aphemia just to get it out of our hand to draw another card. Or it's only 1 damage if we keep it in hand. I think we're okay drawing a card. Can't swing in with Aphemia. Can swing in with rest. I guess we could have swung in with Aphemia and replayed Aphemia. That's what we should have done. My apologies. We got Aphemia here in hand. Should have swung with her. We'll do that next turn. 1 life per spell is a small price to pay, especially if you have any sort of life gain or ways to sacrifice the thing that's dealing the damage to you. Just a little grindy matchup. Nothing too crazy. We also gain 2 life with every time Doom Foretold resolves. Okay, we swing in with everything. What you got? Board wipe? Not a board wipe. Trying to kill himself. Should have scried his upkeep maybe, but it is what it is. He's still putting both bottom anyway. Good game, good game. Alright, so it's another way, it's Story of Doom. It's all about sagas and Doom Foretold and just kind of grinding out your opponent with these little zombies and valuable plays, just removing and controlling their board while just making these little zombies that just add up. Anyway, so if you like these videos, please share them with someone else that you know. And yeah, I will catch you next week. I think next week is Ikoria, so be prepared for that. Peace.